Tell 'em Tribe Tarot. Daily readings for my tribe. Subscribe to my channel.
Peace, Gemini. I am Cherokee with Tell 'em Tribe Tarot, coming to you with another reading. I trust that your day was smooth and productive and that you're unwinding for a pleasant evening, whether it be with yourself or your significant other or your family. But I hope that your day is unwinding into a peaceful setting for you. Get your coffee, get your tea, get your water, whatever it is that you like to sip on at this hour, your little alcohol, your wine, and let's get into your reading. Take what resonates and leave behind what does not. So I see right now you're worried still. I feel like we're picking up on a reading from the past. You're worried about how to maintain your happiness. I feel like you shouldn't forget that you've gotten to this place because you worked on what you needed to work on to believe where you are. I feel like things have just been happening so quickly for you, and you've just been doing what you needed to do to remain afloat, to keep your sanity, so to speak. And you've been doing it so much, you just got used to being in survival mode that you didn't even realize that how many obstacles that you've overcome. I feel like you are afraid that you won't be able to move how you would like to on your terms in the time frame that you've set for yourself, because you may have like some financial setbacks right now, because I see some of you are trying to start new business ventures, or some of you are looking for a new trade or something to bring in some extra money right now, because you realizing that having one or two incomes is just not the way how you want to live. You want to have multiple streams of income, and you're feeling like if you don't have a lot of money, then you're failing. And that's farthest from the truth, because you've been going so hard and you've been doing so well for yourself. You're just not satisfied because you see a picture that you're not in as yet. So you keep acknowledging where you are not as opposed to where you are. And then you're selling yourself short and set yourself up for failure because you're not giving yourself credit for where you are. And you're worried that if you constantly live in the way that you're living right now, as if you may feel unmotivated, you may feel as if you don't have the know-how to get to the next step, and your spirit guides are telling you that if you want to get to the next step and you feeling inadequate, you have to acknowledge where you are and realize that you're not failing, you're just transitioning. And when was the last time that you've reached out for help? Like, I see you've been turning down advances to do things, like to go out and network and to meet people doing the same things like you, and to get assistance or to do the groundwork to bridge the gap between where you are and where you're trying to be. So there's like a pull. I feel like you have some negative self-thinking at the moment, which is holding you back from where you're trying to be. And if you realize that the messages that you have been either spamming, ignoring, or starring in your emails or in your DMs, where you're just not looking at them and reading them thoroughly to see that you may have some connections that are reaching out to you that can actually assist you, but you may not feel as if they're the right connections because they are not coming from the resource where you would like to see them come from. So your spirit guides are just saying to be mindful of what you're ignoring, because your help is right in front of your eyes. And the moment that you realize that what you need is right in front of you, you're going to have smooth sailing. What you shouldn't forget, Gemini, is the 9 of Cups. What you shouldn't forget is that you're a boss. It's just what it is. And no matter where you are in your life right now, you might feel like you're failing at life right now, or you might feel like you don't have enough to do what you're trying to do because you might be comparing yourself to someone else's success, which is something that you shouldn't do. You might be over analyzing the way how things should be as opposed to what they are because you want things to move a little quicker than they are moving. But what you should realize right now and not forget is that this is a constant effort. And where you are is a great place, because if you look back to where you were two years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, if you've been journaling and you haven't touched your journals to like read them to see how far you've come, or you haven't been listening to your circle where they are admiring your tenacity and your drive, and because you're so hard on yourself, don't forget that you are the same person who set those goals in place in the past and got to them and smashed them. But because you're not moving as quickly as you thought you would right now, you're taking those accolades away from yourself, and that's not fair. You have to constantly inspire yourself to keep moving, Gemini, and you have to celebrate those small wins. You have to constantly inspire yourself to see what is out there for you. I feel like you need to even try something outside of the box new. I know that you're one to try new things, but I feel like as of lately, you've just been feeling really boxed in and uninspired. And now is your time for you to look beyond what you're used to and feel out something else. All of those advances of those networking parties that you're turning down, parties in general, like you're just turning everything away. Why though? Because you feel like you are going to put too much energy into the wrong thing. But Gemini, life is connected. Life is connected, and every single thing that you're experiencing right now is a part of your life's plan. Like it's getting you to where you need to be. So you can't feel, well, you can feel that way, but you cannot dwell on what is not moving as quickly and use that as the scale to determine your success or how well or not you're doing. It's not fair to you. It's not fair to you at all. Let's see what this Oracle card says. I feel like you've been feeling a little down lately, and the reason why is because you've been ignoring the way how you feel. You have to express your feelings in every different way that you need to. And I constantly tell you to journal. If journaling is not your thing, you need to be expressing yourself to your close confidant or to a counselor, or just in general speaking out loud in your own space. You have to release your emotions and allow yourself to feel what you're feeling, because I feel like you bottle up the things that you go through because you feel like no one will understand. And you're not giving yourself enough time to go through your process. You cannot trap your emotions in and expect to feel healthy. Some of you are feeling sleep deprived. And then you're like, I'm good. I don't need a lot of sleep, but you do, so that you can function. Because you have a lot of goals. With this Ace of Wands, you have a lot of things that you have to do. And then if you push these emotions aside, they'll come out in unhealthy ways, and then you won't be able to fulfill your goals. So like if you are one that you're saying, I want to start doing dance classes, and then you're unmotivated to go. Oh, I want to start working out. Then you're unmotivated to go. Oh, I want to consistently wake up in the mornings and meditate. Then you're unable to do that because you're not able to do these things because you are bottling up emotions. It could be something from the past that you're repressing, where you feel like you've given enough, like you're all, and like now you're trying to make up for it. But you owe it to yourself to Pull back when you need to and invest time in yourself and admit when you're not feeling up to par. You don't have to keep going and going and going to prove anything to anyone, because you've already proven to yourself that you're capable of doing what you need to do, because you're right in the space that you dreamed about 2-3 years ago. But right now, Gemini, it's time for you to release your emotions. And then once you release them, now you can say, all right, I felt what I needed to feel. Now it's time for me to move on to the next thing and allow myself the opportunity to get through these emotions, because I feel like you've been just holding on to things that you did wrong, holding on to things that didn't work out for you, holding on to resentment of the past from people who stepped on your toes or people who did you wrong, who treated you in a way that you didn't deserve. And you have to release those emotions, Gemini. Spirit, please provide me with the closing messages for Gemini. Please provide me with the closing messages for Gemini. Please provide me with the closing messages for Gemini. Yes, Gemini, if you release these feelings and advise yourself to realize that this is just temporary and these emotions, they count, but they don't live here. This is not their final resting place. Then you're going to feel better. You're going to advance from this emotional blankness that you feel. Some of you may be saying, I don't feel anything. What you should look forward to is moving up out of this dark patch where everything may feel like it's going wrong because you're not acknowledging the things that are going right, and you're bringing all of this negative energy to yourself. Release the negative energy, Gemini, and allow yourself to feel your feelings and release anything that doesn't feel good, and give yourself permission to feel better. That's when you'll start feeling better, Gemini, and then you'll be able to attack these goals and not feel burdened by them. Because even the simplest of goals are feeling like a big deal to you. Simple things, as just waking up and making breakfast. All right, so if you'd like to book a personal reading, Gemini, go to tellemtribetarot.com, click the book a reading link, and you can subscribe to my channel, turn on post notifications, and I will talk to you next time. Love and light, tribe.